Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode on Life on Cars. Today I'm doing a job on the Rolls-Royce. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start investigating replacing the stereo, replacing the radio, or the head unit as it's known as. So I did see a post on a forum on Facebook about removing the head unit, and it appears there may be a chance of doing it quite easily. So we're going to do that today, see if we can get the head unit taken out of the car. That way I can start investigating what I'm going to replace it with. I can start looking at the wiring and sussing out what I need to do to change the stereo. So get yourself a cup of tea, relax, settle down, and we'll get the old radio removed from the Rolls-Royce Silver Spirit III. Let's go! Get in! Right, let's get into the car and get the unit removed if we can. Alright then, here we are inside the car. Like I said at the start of the video, I just want to investigate if it is possible to remove this unit without taking the centre console out, because that means I can do this job a little bit faster. Second thing, I want to get this out, just have a look at the connections and see if I can suss out the wiring ready for the new unit. So I'm led to believe, or I've got a feeling, this plastic trim around the outside can be popped off, which will hopefully then reveal the locking mechanism that locks the deck into the frame. So let's see if we can remove that first. So I don't want to be obviously marking the leather or anything like that, so what I'm going to do is, I've noticed that there's a bit of flexibility just at the very top of that trim. Can you see there? It's quite easy to slide the screwdriver in. I'm just using a very sharp flat bladed screwdriver, and it's lifted. Can you see that, how it lifts up the top? So I'm just going to slide my screwdriver to the left, and then I'm going to start to very gently see if I can bring that trim forward, and it looks like it's coming. So I'm just going to see that. So again, I don't want to mark the unit because I'm going to keep that unit for the future, for any future owner who may want to put it back to original, or at least we're going to be keeping this unit anyway as part of the car's history. So this looks like this plastic trim is going to come off fairly easily. So yeah, it's coming away. Look, it's just clipped in still on the left side, so I'm just going to give it a bit of help because I don't want to break it. There we are, look. Right, so there's the plastic trim off, so that's stage one. And if I turn that round, it's just on little clips, look. Two on the left and two on the right. So I'm going to set that to one side, and then we'll see what we can see. So with the trim off, we can see what we call the cage. See this metal cage that goes all the way around the unit. And what we need to figure out next is how the actual radio set, or the head unit as it's sometimes known as, is locked into the cage. And what I've noticed first of all is there appears to be a locking mechanism. So I'm just going to lift that up. Can you see there? See if I can show you that. It's quite small, so whether you'll be able to see it on the camera, but there is move that up and down. there is like a little latch there, look. You see it? With a little pin. And that pin is sitting in a slot just below there. So what I've done is so originally that pin was down there. See it? So we just need to it's just gone a bit tight. Come on. There we are. See that movement there? And the pin, so we need to have the pin in the middle position there, because that is the unlock position. So I need to do that on both sides. There we are, that's moved up. So that's both pins unlocked. So the good news about these pins unlocking is, and the fact that it's in a frame, I know already that we can take this out without taking the center console out, because it's basically a version of a standard locking mechanism that we used to get on the single DIN units. So the unit is locked into the frame, and I think just by releasing those locking pins each side that we have done, I think now we may be able to start to bring this unit forward. It's just a little bit tight on this pin on this side. You just need to make sure it's in the middle. I know you can't see how the locking mechanism works, but when I get this out, I will show you. Yeah, it's coming forward. It's coming forward. Yep. Here we go, guys. It's out. That's probably the first time that stereo, the back of that stereo, has seen the light of day for many, many years. Right, that's good news. There is plenty of slack on the cables. So I'm going to... Right, there's one going tight there, which I think is one of the aerials. Yeah, there we are. Look. Okay, so that's a to changer or external unit. Okay, it's like some sort of DIN plug. That's that off. Let's disconnect these line outs. Obviously we've got our main connector here. I'm just going to put the stereo carefully down there while I get two hands on this connector. There we are. And there's the aerial. There we are. And we've got two more RCDs. There we are. Right. It's out. There we are. One removed unit. So we'll have a closer look at that in a minute. So if, like me, you're doing this to replace it with a modern unit, what you will need to do is to remove the actual metal cage as well, because a new cage will come with the new unit. So these are normally just fitted with locking tabs bent over. So I'm going to have a quick look now. I can see already we've got a couple of locking tabs bent over at the bottom. So what we need to do is to just gently, again, just be careful that you do not catch your leather when you're doing this, but basically we need to lift these locking tabs up where they fold down behind the opening, and then we can bring the cage out. You can just see there how I am bringing up that tab lock. So there's one there, there's another one there, another one there, and then there'll be 3 in the top as well. So just bear with me while I bend those tabs. Right, I've got all 6 tabs up, so we should be able to very carefully now start to bring this cage out. You might find that you end up bending the cage a little bit to get it out, but I'm just making sure they're not catching on anything. And it's sharp, so what you want to be doing with this is just being very careful that you don't scratch your leather when this starts to come out. And it's actually brought the like a black trim with it as well. See that? It's like a black trim. Now that might be a Rolls-Royce part, so we definitely want to keep that because it's kind of wrapped with black leather. Look, that might just be fitted just to take up or to. The reason why they've probably done that is because they didn't want any of the cream leather showing around the opening when it was all back together. So we'll have to see if I need to use that when I get my new stereo. But yeah, that's that out and the cage out. So I'm just going to have a little clean wipe around here now, and then we'll take all this onto the bench and we'll have a look at it. Just before we take a closer look at the unit, I've just mocked it back up in the house here so I can show you what actually happened there to get it out. So we started off by taking the black trim off, which as you can see just clipped on, and then I just wanted to show you the locking mechanism a bit closer now that it's out. So it was fairly straightforward. So can you see there, we've basically just got a catch that lifts up. You don't need any special tools, you just need to lift that up with a screwdriver. And you can see there the hook that the catch locates into. So if I just slide that locking mechanism up and down there, you can see all we're doing is we're going to bring that to the middle like that. And now then the cage can, or the radio shall we say, can be slid forward. So it's as simple as lifting that little latch mechanism up on both sides. So it's the same on this side, look. See that? There we are. And then all we did in the car then is we slid the cage and the radio out like that. Notice how they've got little plastic or rubber protectors on those tabs that were, so those tabs originally were as they are now, so they were bent up, and that locks the frame into the aperture on the car. And then what I had to do when to remove this is I had to basically bend those like that. So that they clear, and then then you can slide the actual frame out here. So it's not very complicated at all, and that's good news, like I say, because I can investigate now replacing this cassette player. Right, so what have we actually got here, because it's unbranded on the front, there's no Rolls-Royce obviously didn't want a brand mark on the front, but what it actually is an Alpine. So let's take a close look at what it says on the back. So we have an Alpine RR7618R cassette deck in this with an FM, medium wave and long wave tuner, it says on the back. Alpine Electronics Incorporated, Japan. Ministero PT. And there's a Rolls-Royce number there, look, UD73646. So yeah, quite a high-end unit at the time, top of the range, Alpine. And obviously it's got the capability to connect to amps, and it's got the capability to connect to a CD changer back in the day. You might be wondering why have I decided to change this? Well, the reason why is I do have some cassettes, but unfortunately a lot of them have deteriorated. The radio, if I'm being honest, the reception's not brilliant. I don't know why. I'm hoping that'll improve with a new unit. So I think possibly the unit is a little bit tired. I mean, after all, the unit is 31 years old, but it's definitely worth keeping. It works. It's just the radio reception is not brilliant. Obviously, we've got no connectivity. There's no way we can connect. I can't play CDs. I do have quite an extensive CD collection, which I know is old school now as well. So the new unit, I'm not sure yet, but I'm probably going to get a block point unit, which has got a retro look to it, so it doesn't look out of place. And I may get one that is Bluetooth connectivity for sound and phone. But I may get one that can play CDs, because I do like my CD collection. But I do want to be able to play music from my phone as well. So, yeah, unfortunately, that Alpine is going to be put into safe storage and kept. The only other thing I want to do is I just want to pop this cover off where the wire's going into the radio. The reason why, I'll tell you in a minute, if my suspicions are correct. Yep, I thought so. So that is a special adapter that was used at the time by Alpine, which was built for Rolls-Royce to connect into the Rolls-Royce harness. I just wanted to check under there to see if my suspicions were correct. So when I fit a new stereo to this, I will probably have to try and source what we call an ISO adapter, which fits the other end of the Rolls-Royce plug. Let me know if you know if such a thing exists. My thoughts are it probably doesn't. So what I'll probably have to end up doing is snipping these cables here, so I can reuse that, plug that into the Rolls-Royce, and then I will have to solder and connect my new stereo onto these cables. So there's a little bit of research to be done, and obviously I need to decide what stereo I'm going to buy as well. So yeah, a nice little fun project though. So this will be part 1, and you'll see part 2 another time. So yeah, that was fairly straightforward, wasn't it? The whole process of removing that was a lot easier than I thought. So yeah, worthwhile taking a look at if you want to do a quick unit swap, or quick-ish. We need to suss the wiring out obviously for our new one, which I haven't actually decided which unit to buy yet, because I wanted to do, like I say, a little bit of checking first, because I want to make sure that we can connect easily with a new one onto the existing harness, and figure out whether we can carry on using the Alpine amp that's in the boot or not. So if any of you are stereo experts, let me know. I've noticed we've got rear amp written on one of those, red and white, and I've got front amps written on another pair of red and whites. I'm guessing that one is for the CD changer, which has not fitted in my car. I think it's been removed at some point. I think it might have been originally, I'm not sure, but there's no CD changer in my car. And then obviously the aerial socket, and then obviously the powers and the feeds to the amp, etc. on there. So yeah, we've got a little bit of sussing out to do on the wiring, but that's fine. We can leave that like that for now while I suss out what's going on. You might have noticed the Jaguar XK is in the garage, and the reason for that is I have now decided to sawn the Jaguar for the winter. I don't use it in the winter, so it's going to get a bit of a polish while it's in here, and then it's going to get covered over, and the Jaguar is going to have a sleep for the winter. However, the Rolls-Royce Silver Spirit, I'm going to keep that taxed all year round, because it's one of those cars where well, no cars really like to stand for long periods, but when you've got a classic car or something that's quite as complex as the Rolls-Royce, with its high pressure fluid systems that it's got going on for the brakes and the suspension and things like that, it needs using, you know. So what I want to do is I want to try and use it over the winter on dry sunny days. Hopefully we'll get a few of those. You know, there may be some periods where it doesn't go out at all. You know, if the weather's really bad, it might not go out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I don't know, but my plan is to take it out whenever I can. So yeah, we're keeping the Rolls-Royce taxed, but the XK is going to have another winter sleep. Well, there we are then. We've got the old unit out. I hope you found that interesting and useful if you're a Rolls-Royce Silver Spirit owner, to see a quick way of getting the head unit out of the vehicle. So yeah, like I said, what I've got to do now is I've got to investigate first of all what I'm going to replace it with. So I need to get something ordered up, and then I need to suss out the wiring and get it fitted. So rest assured, I will complete this video over 2 parts, and we'll get a new stereo fitted in a future episode. If you liked what you saw today, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe. That would be really great, because it helps with the algorithm on the channel. And I'll see you very soon with something else on Life and Cars. Bye now. Bye bye.